Hey there, there was some questions on commercial forest land and how you know this, or is there a way to look it up? So I wanted to take a deep dive into that and let you know. So majority of the time, the listing is going to tell you that it is in a commercial program. And essentially what this is the land is available for hunting and fishing to the public without owner consent. And you get a very good tax break for doing this. You can still fence off your property, and then people would need to be allowed to walk in, and you can do that, and you are allowed to have a percentage of the land that you could build on if you wanted. So a whole lot more involved in this. I don't know a whole lot about it, but for me and what I was looking for when I bought my land in the UP, I definitely was not interested in sharing my land with the public. So anytime I saw a listing with any of these forest programs involved, I just passed on it and didn't look any further. The majority of the time, I think you'll see it in the listing, like this one here. It's the first thing they say, designated as a CFA Commercial Forest Act property. You can potentially take these out of that program. You do have to pay like the taxes, the tax savings that the owner had, which I'm not sure if that's capped at so many years, but some of these have been in this program for many years, and it could be a pretty significant fine for taking property out of the program. So you definitely want to make sure you're aware of the status of the land. And typically it's larger properties, right? This one's 78 acres. So if you had a 10-acre property, you're most likely not going to come across this. But anything that's larger than 20, I would say definitely make sure that you know before you get too involved in buying the property, whether it is or is not in any tax program. And there are many. So commercial forest is just one. And there is a website, there's a couple websites where you can look to double check and see where the commercial forest areas are, which is always good to know. So there's this My Hunt that is put on by the DNR. And I don't know if it's just my computer today, but when I zoom in, I'm not getting the street view. If I put it on a different view, it seems to work okay, but you really have to know where you're zooming into to be able to find anything. And then I can't get it to show any of the trails or any of the coding here on the legend of the layers. So this one doesn't seem to be working very well today. The other one is if you go to this link here, I'll put it in the chat, I'll put it in the description, the link for this one. This is also DNR Commercial Forest Lands. And the best thing to do is there's a lot of filters and layers in here. It takes a bit of getting used to, but you can kind of zoom in and see the road, and then you can turn on commercial land to see if maybe the property you're buying is next to commercial land. You can confirm that, or if it's part of commercial land, you can see that as well. I always kind of felt like I'd be a little nervous about, like, if I was to own this property here and you're on three sides of commercial land where people are hunting, could be a little, you might have people wandering across into yours, right? So you'd want to be careful to make sure you had your boundaries marked really well. So this property here, they have no, they have one picture, right? So you can see this one has a lot going on. It is located on a seasonal road, and it is located on Trail 111. So you're on a snowmobile trail. I believe, so here, there are some easements allowing access to the properties on the north and west for logging and the snowmobile trail. So you've got easements coming through this property, you've got logging roads coming through this property, and a snowmobile trail. So it's got a lot going on. And I was able to kind of find this on the map. It took me a bit, but I think it's these three parcels. So when I look at this one's 40, and this one is 20, and this one is 18, which adds up to 78, and they are all owned by the same person. So I think it's this one. So it looks like literally the road goes right through the middle. So I'm surprised that they're even trying to get 78,000 out of this, because that seems kind of high. Being seasonal, being commercial land, and then being that there's easements and the snowmobile trail going through it. It's a lot of negatives in my book, but it may work out great for somebody. But so, and then that's all public hunting, right? So people can hunt around in this area, hunting and fishing. I think there's lakes and things around too. But so that's what that one seems to be. And I've never came across a listing that didn't say it was a CFA, but it was. So I think for the most part, the realtors know that that's a big thing that people are looking to know, or to avoid, or to buy. Some people want that because maybe they're only going to go up and hunt, right? And they don't want to pay all the tax. So it's a good thing for some people, and for some people it's not. So I think it's majority of the time, I would say it's found in the listings itself, but this can give you a way to just double check. And it's, like I said, it's always good to know, if you're going to buy this property and you're going to be against public hunting land, like that's something you want to know, because you're going to want to really post your property line to make sure you don't have people wandering in accidentally. And it's definitely a great way to save on some taxes, because I believe what it is you don't have to pay the school portion of the taxes. It's kind of like you have a homestead tax exemption on it, which could be good. So that's what I had today. I hope that helps. Thanks.